Priya Ali. This show is designed to bring you real experts, real tools for real people like you who are ready to stop waiting and start living 365. Welcome to the show. This will be our last show of 2015. I'm excited, and as we all get at that at the end of the year, a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? I guess a little bit remiss, a little bit emotional, a little bit in that mode of being in that sense of gratitude and reflecting. That's the word I'm looking for, reflection, in a place of reflection. As I actually welcome you into my living room and my Christmas tree, I am sitting in the room where I filmed my very first promo for this show back in June. And just taking a moment to reflect upon what that was like for me and beginning that journey back in June before we first aired in July. And really just taking a look at how that impacted my life. I would never have really imagined. I mean, I did kind of imagine, but you never really know what things are going to turn out like. And to know that we've come to this point 6 months later with 23 episodes, over 60 guests, and just about 80,000 views so far. So the first thing I want to do is start by thanking you. For those of you who continuously watch this show and continuously click on and listen to what we have to say and reach out and let me know that you're watching the show, I really want to thank you from the top to the bottom of my heart, because I truly do appreciate your interest, and it just helps me to know that we're bringing something worthwhile to you, which is the whole goal here, not just to see me. So when we do come to the end of the year, there's one end of the year bash that I would recommend that you avoid. And that end of the year bash is usually the one where we go through remembering and reflecting on all that's happened for us throughout the year, from January to December. And we get to that point often where we're kind of doing a little inventory, an inventory of all the things we had resolved and all the resolutions we had made in January. And now December's here, and it's kind of like tally up time, isn't it? Where we take a look back and see what did we actually accomplish and what did we miss out on? What's still outstanding? What did we not even touch? And it's very common and very easy for us to get into a place of having that bash, that end of the year bash where you bash yourself. We really beat yourself up for all the things that you didn't accomplish, for all the things that you cannot check off the bucket list again. And it's a very common thing to do. I do it myself. I did it myself. I'm doing it myself this week as I look through some of my personal goals, some of my business goals. Now, one of the things that's helped me through the week is actually taking stock instead so much of the things that are outstanding, undone, incomplete, not even touched, and focusing more so on everything that I have accomplished and achieved this year, everything that I have experienced, and even more so the things that I didn't expect to have happen that kind of came my way. And to be honest with you, this show has definitely been one of them. This was an idea and a concept that I had come up with about a year in 2014 in May, and I did try it once and kind of didn't really go anywhere with it. And this year the opportunity just kind of presented itself through the B3 ITV network, which while I'm here, I'd like to give a shout out to the network, Ronnie Swace and her beautiful daughter Krista, for all their support throughout the year and allowing me to have this platform to share these shows with you. But when she did come to me and approached me about this, I just thought, okay, well, law of attraction, it's being presented to me. I will jump on and go with it. But come January of 2015, that really necessarily wasn't on my list of things to do. And so, I would really want to encourage you to, rather than looking again at I didn't do this, I didn't get that done, oh geez, I didn't lose those 10 pounds, or I'm not with the love of my life that I expected, I didn't meet my soulmate yet again, another New Year's coming and I'm going to be alone, another Christmas where things are unresolved within my family or my marriage or my relationship. And I really want to encourage you to move away from all of that and focus on what you do have. Focus on what you have achieved. Focus on what has come your way. And look at it from a perspective of not so much where you have yet to go, but where have you come from? Where have you come from in the last year, in the last 5 years, in the last 10 years? Certainly, I can guarantee you, not one of you is in the same place you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or at the beginning of this year. It's not even physically possible. You will have been in a different physiological state. You'll be in a different mindset of some sorts. You will be in a different place of physically and just the way that you are. It's not possible for you to be in that same place. So I really want to change your mindset today about thinking, and any of you that are about to fall into the trap of, oh gosh, here I go again. Another year of this again. Another year of starting over again. I really want to take you out of that mindset and say to you that, if unless you actually put me on rewind and allowed me to repeat this program, there's no way that I could start the last 5 minutes of this show, even if I said every single word that I just said, there's no way that I could repeat that with the same physiology. There's no way that I would have the same exact facial expressions, that I would blink the same, that I would breathe the same, that my posture would be the same, that my thoughts would be the same, that my gaze and where I was looking at would be the same. There's no possible way for me to produce that all over again. What I could do is recreate something very similar. And that's what a lot of us are doing, and really confusing that with, oh gosh, this is that again. Whether it be a relationship. I had to learn that in my own relationships, that when I thought I was, this is that again, it really wasn't that, oh, how did I end up here again? It really had to come down to, why did I create this again? Why did I create this again? And ask yourselves, what are you going to create this coming new year? In 2016, are you wanting to, willing to, and ready to create the same thing that you've had this past year, something similar to it, a variation of it? Maybe you're another year older, obviously. You might be a little bit further along financially or wherever you've come, but are you really willing to create something similar or almost identical to what you've been experiencing? And what I'd like to encourage you to do, challenge you even, because I'm going to challenge myself. I don't ask anybody to do anything that I won't do for myself. And I want you to join me as I challenge myself to create the things that I want to create, to create the things that are going to be those changes that lead me in a different direction. Now, a lot of the times when I give great advice and great challenges to my clients, the $1,000,000 question that I always get is, how? How do I do that? And that's what I really want to focus on in helping it with the new year, with our shows, is focusing on more of the tools and the hows. We give you a lot of great information, and I hope we have given you some hows over the last 23 shows. I'm pretty sure we have. But I want to continue to focus on showing you ways and of how to do things and how to inspire change in your own life. So the first step in doing something like that is really, for a short, brief moment, is to take a look at, to go into that space of, what is it that you would like to change? What is it that you don't like? For the majority of people, it's usually relationships, career, finance, right? Weight, those are big ones. Generally speaking, how fit you are, your health, those are some of the top 5 or 6 things that I see come across my office. And so if you're in any of those positions of wanting to make those types of changes, then the first place to start is to take a look at, what is it that you do want? What kind of healthy state do you want to be in? What kind of fitness level do you want? What kind of financial position do you want to be in? What type of relationship are you looking for? What is the career that you would really bring you the joy and keep you going in the morning? Take a look at, what is it that you do want? Now, oftentimes we go right to wanting to create the picture. So a lot of times when we're teaching people how to manifest things and create things, we go into this space of people want to get into, well, what does this ideal guy look like? Or what does this ideal girl look like? How much money do I need to have? What kind of job should I have? What will that be? What position will it be? And that in itself can become really overwhelming. And right there and then, that can be one of the things that prevents you from getting closer to your goals. Because what that does is, it a lot of times, if you can't conceive that, which is really likely because you're trying to think of something that isn't existing right now, so it can be really difficult to conceive that picture and to get that visual in your head. And we've all seen, for those of you who have seen manifestation tools, and there's all kinds of vision board tools out there and things that you can do, and that's great. If you want to go ahead and take a look at magazines and create a vision board, that is a useful tool. The only thing I find with things like like that is when I've done a vision board, and I can probably think the time that I'd been doing the vision board was around a time that I wanted to get pregnant. And I had lost a baby through a miscarriage, and I wanted to get pregnant. And so I had put together a vision board that was focused more so on pregnancy and getting pregnant. And what I found for me was that it would sort of incite a feeling of not having it. I would be focused, I would be looking at the woman with the baby in the picture thinking, well, she has that, I don't have that. It would sometimes lead me to focus more on what I didn't have versus what I do have. So what I find as a coach, one of the tools that I use and share with my clients is, that's fine. If you want to look at, say, let's use the example of me wanting to be pregnant, then go the step further. Ask yourself, why do I want that? Why do I want that? And for me, when I really got down to the point of why did I want that baby, it came down to, completing my family, feeling complete in a family. I'd always wanted 4 children because that was my vision of what a complete family would look like. And when I really focused on that instead of the baby and feeling complete within my family unit, that helped me to get into a different mindset. And what I ended up doing was writing about what that would look like. And actually writing, I found, helped me a lot more because, neurologically, when you connect your thoughts to pen to paper, you actually are creating a neuro association. You're building between the thought and the actuality of it. There's a connection that you're making. So by writing it down, what I did was I wrote the story of how I would tell my husband that I was going to be expecting a baby. And I wrote it down in November, and I had written it that I would check on December 23rd because due to my female's monthly cycle, that would be the day I would know. And I wrote this story down because my eldest daughter's friend, who was her age, they had another child who was my son's age, and this would have been the 3rd child that we would have had to be born at the same time. And I remember writing that down, that we would have a 3rd child at the same time, and I would tell him on December 23rd. I would know, and I would put a pair of little knitted boots under the tree, and I would place that there, and that's what I would tell him. And I wrote that story, and I remember on December 23rd of that year, I remember sort of around 10 o'clock in the morning, the lady that comes and cleans my house, bless her heart that she does that, she was here, and something just made me realize that that was the day of my cycle, that I was due to have my period. And so what I did was, because when you're trying to have a baby, you have 60,000 pregnancy tests in your cupboard. That's what we do, because once you check and you're trying to have a baby, you check one, and if it says no, you check it 16 more times just in case. So I had pregnancy test in the cupboard, and I went and took one, and it was positive. And I just remember running to her and showing her this test, and just like, she was just looking at me like, what the heck? And so I was able to go ahead as planned, as written, and unfold that story as I had written it. But if you get caught up in the phase, if you find yourself being caught up in a phase of not being able to actually get to that point of feeling like you can actually be in that story, then there's something that you might want to take a look at, that you might want to raise your awareness around as to what is preventing you from getting there. Sometimes it's that we feel we don't deserve it. Sometimes that we feel that we're just not worthy of it. Sometimes we feel as though it's just not something that can happen for us. We want it, but we can't really conceive it being something that we could get or it could happen to us. And that's where you'd want to change your mindset. But even before that, you want to take a look and make sure that you're encouraging yourself. For those of you who are watching that have children, for those of you who are watching that maybe have nieces or nephews or neighbors with children, just imagine if you were to go to a young child and say, you know what, like, geez, you haven't even started, riding a bike, and you're 3 years old. What the heck? You had it on your list. You told me when I saw you out in the summer that you were going to ride a bike, and yet you've not done it. And would you really go there and bash somebody like that? Bash a little guy or a little girl like that? Probably not. But I've seen a lot of you, and I know for myself that we do it to ourselves. We will bash ourselves for all of those things. Guess what? We can't change what we haven't done. We cannot change what we haven't done. So there's really no point in directing energy or wasting energy on beating yourself up and bashing yourself for the things that you haven't done. It's not like we're going to be able to go back and do them in that time frame. So instead, inspire yourself, encourage yourself, and get yourself into that place of being ready to try and do it now. And when I say try, taking steps. Start taking steps towards doing it now. Who knows? You may find yourself next December 31st again saying, you know what? I didn't quite accomplish that goal, but I sure did take a step. At least I took a step this time. And that's okay. Am I promoting and encouraging you to half-ass get into goals? Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, I want to encourage you to take a step and encourage yourself once you've taken that step. When I started this show, it was something that I had never done before. And when I agreed and I signed up with the network, I knew I had taken that step. And once I had done that, it really set everything else in motion. And now we're growing. We will be, expanding the networks that we're on. We've got a lot of exciting things coming up. But I set that energy in motion, and that momentum just kept swinging because I kept nurturing it a little bit, a little bit, a little bit at a time. And there are days where, we measure in television by viewership. And so there's some weeks where the views are not as high as they could be or as they have been. And I sit there and I'm like, oh, why did they not like this show? Was something wrong? Did I say something? Was it not well promoted? What did I do? And really and truly, I'm working myself towards coming away from that and moving away from bashing things from the past, because those are the types of things that will discourage you. If I get into that mindset for too long, then I will continue to go that way versus really encouraging myself to just keep going. You know what? It was 1 week. Who knows what happened? And really, does it matter? Will it change anything? But, as Gandhi said, what you do today is going to affect the future. What you do today is what is going to impact the future. Not what you do tomorrow, not what you did yesterday, but what you do today. So I want to encourage you as we get to this point in the end of the year, for those of you who are going through your inventory list and finding that you maybe have recreated, you're not in the same place again, but have recreated something very similar, to give yourself a little slack. Avoid bashing yourself and just allow yourself to be in a space of encouraging yourself to do something differently this coming year. Now, I also wanted to just reach out a little bit for those of you during the holidays can be a very difficult and challenging time for a lot of people. It's very focused on, being with someone, people being in relationships, people getting engaged, people, giving gifts to their spouses, their boyfriends, their girlfriends. It can be a lot about having someone in your life. And if it's not even on a romantic level, sometimes it's, Christmas is very focused on family time. And for those of us and you who don't have family members close by or have strained relationships, it can be a very difficult time. Christmas, particularly in North America, is one of those holidays where pretty much everything is shut down, for the most part. And it is difficult to kind of carry on your day and not be impacted by the fact that this is what's going on. You can kind of move around on Thanksgiving. You might be able to get away with it. It's not as big as Christmas or Valentine's Day, and there's always other things you can do. But Christmas tends to be one of those times where everything's kind of shut down, and you recognize if you don't have somebody there, it can be pretty obvious that you're alone and allow you to feel very lonely or isolated. So for those of you who are in that situation, I really want to encourage you to one, change the mindset. Having gone through 2 divorces and having children who I have shared custody with, one of the things I learned years ago was to not give it so much importance. And it's really why part of the philosophy behind Living 365 has come from just this very same thing, in regards to the fact that I had to learn, that there would be mornings where my children wouldn't wake up in my house on Christmas Day because they were slotted to spend time with their father, or there will be times where they have to leave on Christmas Eve and I can't do those things that I want to do with them. And that was something that prompted me to really come up with the philosophy of Living 365 and not focus and leave it for that one day of the year, but to fulfill each day with my children and for myself, so that I didn't feel that great loss every 364 days when Christmas would come around, or every 364 days when the birthday would come around. I've really begun and have continued to live my life 365. And I want to just reach out to you and say, it's just another day. It's just another day. It's a holiday. It's something to be celebrated. It's a time for family, yes, but it is just another day. And if you can really wrap your head and your heart around that and focus on, fulfilling your life, whether it be just you or with those around you, but fulfilling yourself in such a way so that you are full and complete 365. So that when Christmas or any other day for that matter comes around, that you have that skill and you have those tools to be able to feel full and complete from within. So once again, I would like to wish those of you who are celebrating Christmas a very Merry Christmas. I'd like to thank you again for watching this show all year through. And from my family to yours, we wish you a very happy holiday. And I'd like to remind you to stop waiting and start living 365. Living 365 TV, Priya Ali here. I just had the Ultimate Healing from Connie Kowalski of the Ultimate Healing. Tell us a little bit about Theta Healing.
Thanks. Theta Healing is a meditative technique in which we bring the client up to a theta brainwave quickly and easily. And once we're in a theta brainwave, we're able to quickly and easily access their subconscious beliefs that may be limiting them and preventing them from attaining the life that they want to live. So there are 4 key levels that we work on. There are beliefs that we pick up in childhood on core level. There are beliefs in the genetic level, so things that have been passed on through your ancestors that you may not even be aware of that are affecting your life. The history life level, which is anything in the past life that may have happened to you and then is being echoed in this lifetime, as well as the soul level. And once we're able to access those, we are able to remove any ones that are not serving you and replace them with ones that will help you on your way and in your journey.
Now, you're an intuitive healer. Describe to the viewers what that means.
Yes, I'm an intuitive healer, and actually I hope everybody does know that everybody has some kind of intuitive ability, and it's just a matter of practicing and honing it and getting better at it. And so to me, what I do when I have you in a meditative state is I connect up with Creator or God or whatever your belief system is, and for me, I hear things. I hear things and I see things that I'm being told are blocking you or that need to be rectified in some way, shape, or form. And then through the Theta technique, I am led through Creator and we go ahead and we pull those beliefs.
So I had the opportunity to work with Connie and have a session done, and it turns out that she picked up on things around my own self-esteem and worthiness. Apparently, I didn't think I was as fabulous as I really keep saying I am. So Connie helped me, and how I know that this worked, I mean, I'm a healer as well, so I can definitely pick up on your energy. But for those of you that would engage in a session through the muscle testing, which helps you to know what your belief system is prior to the healing, and it will allow you to track it yourself after the healing. So this is a great instant measuring system that you're able to offer people through your healing.
It is. Intuitively, I know the belief has been pulled, but it's really helpful for the client to see that they had this belief beforehand and, it's gone, it's changed now. And that, I think that goes a long way for clients to actually see that the shifts have occurred. A lot of the times when we're talking about shifts, you don't notice if something bad is happening. If everything's going smoothly in your life, you don't really notice it. You notice when something is not going right. So if I work with you and we have a shift and everything is going well, you don't really notice that. So the muscle testing to show you that the shift has occurred is really helpful to clients.
It's the old seeing is believing. So what ends up happening here is on the subconscious level and through the 4 levels that Connie described, you're able to heal things and change things that you kind of don't even know is going on. So it's really, really, really helpful to have done. Now, where can we find you?
I'm located in Burlington. I work out of my home right now. However, I do sessions by Skype and by phone, so I have clients all over the world.
Perfect. And on the web, where can we find you?
UltimateHealingCanada.com. or you can email me at ultimatehealingcanada@gmail.com.
Okay, perfect. So thank you, Connie. I just had, as I said, the Ultimate Healing from the Ultimate Healing. As always, remember to stop waiting and start living 365.